Why guys should not bring women home on first dates. Gentlemen, there is this thing where many of you, especially the younger ones, associate your manhood with quickly meeting women and sleeping with them at your home before you even go out on a date to make sure they're not thrown off. Fellas, I understand why you do this, given that many women like to finesse men out of free dinners, etc. But have you lost your doggone mind? You don't know these women. Your home is your kingdom, your inner circle, and your body is your temple. Only those in your inner circle should be allowed to enter your private domain. You have to exercise self-control and patience. Here's what's wrong with meeting girls off a dating app to invite them to your place for a first date. Number 1, she might have a group of guys who will rob and delete your thirsty ass.
A date on the app Tinder ended with a man getting robbed and 2 people in jail. This is a picture of a gun that deputies found in the suspect's car after a Ponte Vedra man says he was tied up and his wallet was stolen. New at 6, Action News Jack's Ben Becker shows us the new crime-fighting tool that put the suspects behind bars.
This is where the arrest was made late Friday night outside Fruit Cove Middle School. You can see over here where sheriff deputies actually pinned the suspect's vehicle along this fence. There's the damage. It came after the victim in this case swiped right on Tinder, but it turned out they swiped wrong. These are the mugshots of 20-year-old Lexus Triplett and 26-year-old Michael Wheeler. And this was the scene Friday night when deputies arrested the duo after a short chase along Racetrack Road in Jointon Creek. Deputies also found a gun on the floorboard.
It doesn't surprise me.
Doug Pitts is a Jointon Creek neighbor who believes crime has no borders, even in St. Johns County.
It's not everywhere. It's not isolated.
According to this arrest report, deputies say the victim met Triplett via Tinder in his Ponte Vedra home on November 5th. After a brief conversation and using the restroom, he came back and was met by Triplett and Wheeler, who pointed a gun at him. The victim was tied up with a bedsheet, gagged with a shirt, and because he was gagged, he couldn't scream for help. The sheriff's office says it tracked the couple down when they were alerted by a license plate recognition system.
Believe it or not, I have known guys and known of guys who got messed up like this. Number 2, she might have some kind of disease. Number 3, she might be thrown off mentally. Number 4, she might terrorize your personal and business life for 18 years if you smash her raw. Many of you feel the only smart way to date women without losing money is to invite them to your place for a first date. I get it. You think you save money, but if any of the problems I just listed happens to you, then the money to get your life, your money lost, and peace back will be way more than a simple $50 date. Which is cheaper, spending $50 or spending tens of thousands of dollars or more over 18 years? This is where men who don't understand how to value their time and peace need to improve their overall gentleman game. If you look back in history, the most powerful men use some of their financial resources to take care of many women. Kings and emperors and their top officials set aside parts of their royal budget to care for harems of women. In the Ottoman Empire era, the Sultan had a carefully planned system of recruiting the most beautiful women in his domain to be in his harem. They didn't just get put in his inner circle immediately. They first had to be drafted by his girl recruiters, for lack of a better word. Often these were eunuchs, men who had their, nuts cut off so that they could focus on managing the harems for the Sultan. The rookie women had to go through classes and grooming to make them acceptable and presentable to the Sultan. Get it? Pay attention. Those women who excelled in their intellect and charm ended up on his all-star list. Such women almost had as much influence as his wife. He would have her at dinners with important and powerful dignitaries. Any children he had with her were taken care of very well, often getting the best education. Were these men simps? Of course not. But they did the wise thing of vetting and grooming these women first in order to have peace in their inner circle. Plus, she had to represent his ability to make wise choices. A man who chooses just any old random woman to smash raw is actually not very bright. Go back and look at the stories of King David and Solomon in the Bible. David was a very handsome king. All the women desired him. Yet he maintained a select group of 300 women besides his queen. He groomed these women as well. So you would think a handsome, powerful man would not need an extra woman in his inner circle. However, he made one dumbass mistake. He saw the wife of one of his lower military officials taking a bath down below, not far from his palace. Like a lot of you, he just had to have her without vetting her and had to smash her raw. And guess what? He had a child out of wedlock we now know as King Solomon. But to cover up his stupid mistake, David conspired to have her husband sleep with her so that he could lie and pretend it's that soldier's child. In other words, King David plotted fraternity fraud so that no one knew he exercised poor judgment by smashing a married chick raw, and he barely even knew her. Long story short, instead of owning up to it, David had the husband killed so that he could make Bathsheba, the woman he just made a widow, one of his wives. Talk about drama. The end result was that God was displeased with David, and for the rest of his life, he had drama and turmoil in his inner circle. Do you want to follow in his footsteps? Then stop smashing girls raw you barely know. Wise men preserve their mental and spiritual peace by not acting on impulse simply because you think it's cool to have strange women come to your home, your inner circle. Until such irrational men learn to slow down and vet the women they invite in their inner circle, such men will find their own damn way into the apocalypse of men, where the good men will give them the side eye. Welcome to the Brother Apocalypse.